Hello everybody! So I haven't made a video in quite some time, and let me tell you this. It's really hard being in school full-time and keeping up on this, so I apologize for the lack of videos every single week. But anyway, I thought I'd just make you a little video to kind of catch you up on what's been going on. So I've just been at home and working on school, and I've got myself a boyfriend, so he's been taking up a lot of my time too. I've had my grandpa ill up in Utah, and so we've been running back and forth between Utah and Arizona to see him, and it's just been insane. Just a few days ago we went up to Utah to see my grandpa, but also we went to the Bastille concert, and that was just amazing. It was super good. They sounded great live. I've recently become obsessed with this soon game. I think that's how you spell it. Or say it, not spell it. Because I can say. Because I can speak. But it's spelled T-S-U-M-T-S-U-M. I think it's just Tsum Tsum. I don't know. If any of you know how to pronounce it, that's just how I pronounce it because I don't really know. But anyway, I don't know if any of you heard of it. It looks kind of like this. But maybe I'll show you the game itself. It kind of looks like this when it starts. And then you just connect little lines. Anyway, I've been really super obsessed with it. So I thought to get back into things, I would tell you a little story. So I don't know if I've ever mentioned before, but I'm pretty much one of the most awkward human beings on the face of the planet. And this is a story from back when I was up in Rexburg, and I'll just start. I don't even know what I was thinking. Anyway, so this story happened back when I was up in Rexburg, and it was kind of with one of my roommates, but I went with her to go hang out at her boyfriend's apartment, and her boyfriend had picked us up, and that's vital to the story because I had to get a ride home later, and one of his roommates took me home because it was getting a little late and I just wanted to go to bed. So he took me home, and my phone was in the little cup holder in the center console part of his car. And so when he parked and I got out and I started walking toward the door, I had left it in his vehicle. And I started walking toward the door, and he was just about to turn out of the parking lot when I realized that I didn't have my phone. So I had to turn around and go running down after his car. So I'm running down the street after his car like an idiot, and I couldn't call him because my phone was in his car. So he stops and he backs up a little bit, and he just rolls down his window, and he looks up at me and he's like, "I think this is what you're looking for." And I was like, "Yes it is, thank you." And so I took the phone feeling like a complete idiot. And because I had just got my phone back, I was sitting there and I was messing around with the apps on my phone. I was just looking through the updates and things, checking social media, typical. And I was walking into my apartment toward the elevator, and the elevator in my apartment complex is really stupid. So we have 5 floors, and the elevator supposedly is only meant to go up 3 floors, and they installed it for 5. Dumb. Anyway, and I lived on the 5th floor, and the elevator sometimes had a tendency to stop on the 3rd floor and open its doors, whether anybody has pushed the button or not. And sometimes it would go all the way up right away, but most of the time it would stop on the 3rd floor, open its doors, sit there, and then close its doors, and then continue up. Well, I was messing around on my phone, not paying attention, and it was one of the times where it stopped on the 3rd floor. So it stopped on the 3rd floor and opened its doors, and because I wasn't paying attention, I assumed that it was my floor. So I got out and I'm walking down the hall, still not paying attention, still messing around on my cell phone toward where my apartment should have been. So I walk in, the door is unlocked, I walk in and I stand there, and there are 2 girls sitting on the sofa, and one of the girls I didn't know at all, go figure, because I didn't live there, and the second girl had her back toward me with her hair up in like this really messy bun, and from the back she looked like one of my roommates. So to me, I assumed that that was my roommate, and the other girl was just some girl. It must have been some girl that was friends with my roommate that I hadn't met yet. So I walk over, still not realizing that it wasn't my apartment, all the way to the fridge. I made it to the fridge. And what's worse, because it gets worse, is I opened the fridge and stood there for like a full 10 seconds, wondering why my food wasn't in the fridge, before I realized that I was in the wrong apartment. So I'm already being awkward, just standing with the fridge open like an idiot, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, how do I get out of this without being even more awkward than I already am? So the first thing that comes to my brain is to close the fridge. I turned around toward them and bowed. I actually bowed at them. If I wasn't awkward before, I just made it 10 times worse by bowing to them. And the whole time they were just staring at me, just with their mouths partly opened, almost like a cartoon, just watching me, not saying anything even. And so I bowed to them, and I back up toward the front door while bowing, opened the front door and said, "Well, it was nice to meet ya," and just left. How much more awkward could you get? Why in the wildest part of my brain did I think that bowing to them would make the situation less awkward? So after I said it was nice to meet them, they just busted up laughing, which I don't blame them, because how often does someone come into a stranger's apartment and bow to them? So finally I left and I closed their front door, and I just start running down the hallway toward the stairs, and I just ran up the next 2 flights to my floor. It was probably one of the funniest things that has ever happened to me. Later on, I had to tell my roommate about it when she finally got home from her boyfriend's house, and we both sat up and had a good laugh over that, but I am just a fail sometimes. If you have any awkward stories that you would like to share to make me feel better about my awkward life, by all means, comment with them down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little story, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!